Hello everyone, I'm Azmi Azaria and my partner Innayah Putri from Group 9 will be discussing our cultural studies essay for the final project entitled The Phenomenon of Harajuku, an Act of Defiance to Dominant Culture. The first aspect is the background of this topic, which is the reason why we choose this topic. We claim that Japan is the most unique country in the world because it has many types of subculture that has been spreaded to the worldwide. Harajuku fashion is becoming our focus in this matter because we believe that fashion is one of the vital things to consider in society these days due to its particular reasons why people wear their clothes. Apart from that, we found that Harajuku fashion subculture is such an interesting way of addressing oneself using many types of clothing along with many accessories, which are the quirky yet eccentric ones. Now we are going to explain the history and some definitions from the Harajuku fashion subculture. Before the rise of Harajuku fashion subculture, Japan had this space in order fashion subculture can be produced, which is the Japanese street fashion.
So, the history of Japan's street fashion culture is closely intertwined with the rise of the Harajuku fashion subculture. In the 1970s and the 1980s, Japan was experiencing a period of economic growth and prosperity, and young people were looking for ways to express their individuality and rebel against the mainstream culture. During this time, a new fashion culture emerged in Japan's urban centers, characterized by a mix of different styles and influences. Young people began to experiment this with different looks, combining elements of Western punk, rock, and new wave fashion with Japanese traditional and pop culture influences. One of the key areas where this new fashion culture emerged was Harajuku, a district in Tokyo known for its trendy boutiques and fashionable young people. Harajuku became a hub for Japan's street fashion scene, and its popularity grew in the 1990s and the 2000s as Japanese pop culture began to gain the global recognition. Harajuku fashion subculture itself is believed to have emerged in the late 1970s and early 1980s when a group of young people began to gather in Yoyogi Park in Harajuku on Sundays to show off their creative and colorful outfits. These early pioneers of Harajuku fashion were inspired by a range of influences, including punk, new wave, and Japanese pop culture. Over time, Harajuku fashion subculture became more complex and diverse, with new styles and subculture emerging within it. Today, Harajuku fashion is celebrated for its creativity, individuality, and expression, and it continues to influence fashion and pop culture around the world.
Here are some of the most popular types of Harajuku fashion. First is Lolita. Lolita fashion is a style inspired by Victorian era clothing and features full voluminous skirt, lace, ribbons, and bows. It is a very feminine style, and there are several substyles within Lolita fashion, including sweet, classic, and gothic. The second is Decora. Decora fashion is a style that incorporates bright colors, bold patterns, and lots of accessories. The goal is to create a playful and eye-catching look with as many decorations as possible, such as stickers, badges, and toys.
After Decora, there is Gyaru. Gyaru fashion is a style that emphasizes a tan complexion, blonde hair, and heavy makeup. The look is often characterized by platform shoes, short skirts, and brightly colored clothing. The next one is punk. Punk fashion is a style that features ripped clothing, leather studs, and safety pins. It is a rebellious and anti-establishment style that originated in the 1970s and still popular until today. And the last one is about the visual kei. It is a style that originated in the Japanese music scene and features dramatic makeup, elaborate hairstyles, and flamboyant clothing. The look is often characterized by black clothing, leather, and accessories, as you all guys can see in this part of presentation. And talking about the occurrences of subculture, it is mandatory to have the youth as the creator and also the performer. Youth is always closely related to the act of defiance because it is a time of transition and self discovery. During adolescence, young people are going through a period of intense physical, emotional, and psychological change, and they may feel a sense of rebellion or resistance to the social norms and expectations that surround them. At the same time, youth is a time of experimentation and exploration, and young people are more likely to seek out new experiences and ideas.
Ultimately, the act of defiance is often a way for young people to express their individuality and assert their independence. It can be a way to push back against authority and social norms, as well as a way to connect with others who share similar experiences and perspective. We have concluded the thesis statement of our essays is following the general purpose of subculture. We believe that Harajuku fashion subculture as an act of resistance against the mainstream fashion in Japan is followed by other various motives which will be discussed in this essay. One, the first body paragraph, we discuss the power of Japan work culture and the way it creates the fashion hegemony in Japan, which is the uniform fashion, and also causing the existence of fashion subculture in Japan using the Gramsci theory of hegemony. The power of Japan's work culture has played a significant role in shaping the fashion landscape of the country, particularly in the prevalence of uniform fashion. In Japan, the work ethic is deeply ingrained in the culture, and there is a strong emphasis on conformity, discipline, and order. One manifestation is this work culture is the ubiquitous use of uniforms in various industries, including schools, corporation, and public service. Uniforms are seen as a way to promote a sense of unity and equality among workers, as well as a way to reinforce company or institutional branding. At the same time, Japan's work culture has also fueled the rise of alternative fashion subculture such as Harajuku fashion. For many young people, the rigid social norms and expectation of Japanese society can feel stifling and they may turn to fashion as a way to express their individuality and rebel against the status quo.
On the second body paragraph, we discuss about how Harajuku fashion has become an identity for those who seek for self-expression in a way it can embrace particular values, beliefs, and attitudes, using the theory of Dick Habdage about fashion subculture. Harajuku fashion offers a way for individuals to express their unique personalities, beliefs, and values through clothing and style. By wearing Harajuku fashion, individual can signal to others their affiliation within a particular subculture or movement, such as the subcultures that were created inside the Harajuku fashion. They can also express their personal values and beliefs, such as a commitment to sustainability, social justice, or, yes, individuality. Moreover, Harajuku fashion is a space for individuals to distinguish themselves from mainstream fashion and societal norms, which can be especially important for those who feel marginalized or excluded from mainstream culture.
Last paragraph discussing about the development of Harajuku fashion still maintains their main purpose and it is shown when the subculture has become a commodity to the Japan economy in the globalization era. While Harajuku fashion has become more mainstream and commercially successful, it has not lost its original purpose. In fact, the subculture success has allowed it to expand its reach and impact both in Japan and globally. The subculture has become a part of the Japanese economy with Harajuku fashion boutiques and brands selling products to consumers both in Japan and internationally.
All in all, Harajuku indeed became a successful movement in resisting the fashion hegemony in Japan, becoming an official identity to someone who seeks for self-expression and still maintains their main purpose, although it has already become a commodity with the perspective of cultural studies. And that's all for our presentation and our essay. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.